recording. We're all in. Doing this video here for my good buddy down there in South Carolina. He's got him a sewing machine, and I told him I had one like it, and I'll just run through what little bit I know about him. Singer 185J. You can find the manuals online. I don't have a manual for one. Very basic machine. These are called a 3/4 machine. They're a little smaller than full size, but they have the same amp motor as the full size. So you basically have the power of a full size machine in these 3/4 machines. This machine is the newest version of the Singer 99, which was a very popular machine. It's a small machine. I've got some here. There are many parts, internal parts that interchange, but this is just a little newer, updated version of it. I got it out. It was out in the shed. There was a hornet's nest in the cover, so I left that outside. Didn't bring that in the house for anything. They were froze, but and I oiled it up, and we have the clutch disengaged wide the bobbin, and it runs. I know when I put it out there that I had sewed with it. I brought it in, tuned it up, sewed with it. First thing we'll do, we'll wind a bobbin. If you don't have a bobbin for one, you can go to most any Walmart's got them, and they're just a flat little. There's actually 3 different bobbins for these. These were the old Singer bobbins. They look like that right there with the one tiny hole in them. These are what you buy in the store now. They'll have multiple holes in them. And then there's the plastic bobbin. Those, if you have a Hobby Lobby around, and actually that's the easiest way unless you're sewing a special color, is to go to Hobby Lobby and buy these pre-filled bobbins. You can get them white or black, and they're pretty cheap. They're pre-wound, and you get the bobbin for about the price. You come around like this, right through there, and there, and that's going to allow enough tension to wind the bobbin. I find it easier to tuck it through that little hole in the side of the bobbin before I put the bobbin on there. Hold this end, and we disengage that clutch 1/2 turn back here. You can't see that. I'll try to move the camera where you can see it when we tighten it up. And just push that down enough. Once you have several coils wrapped on the bobbin, snip that tail off. Now I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a cat, like we do, any pieces of thread, put them safely away where the cat can't get them. My wife just paid a fortune because our cat ate one. It got around its tongue, got down its intestine, damn near cut its tongue off. And my bobbin winder, I'm not sure how it adjusts on these, Chris. I'm not sure if it does. Most of them have 2 screws, and maybe you have to take the pulley off to get to it. But it's a little bit tight. Now sometimes if I see they're not, I just use my finger to make it fill evenly. Now these bobbins with these are not going to shut off when it's full, whereas the older machines they did. You need to stop and clip it. That's all there is to fill in a bobbin. Now to put the bobbin in the machine, I noticed yours is missing. I'm going to look around and see if I got one. Take the bobbin, pull a certain amount of thread off, drop it in. There's a little part right there. Just bring it around. It acts awful loose. I don't think it's in yet. Anyway, it goes in similar to that. There. Bring this up. And bring it over and leave it. That part's done. Now to thread this particular machine, whoops, and went backwards of that, not a big deal. I got a little bit ahead of myself. You might want to cut a felt circle. You can buy those. and put it on. You can get them at sewing stores. It puts a little slight resistance on your spool. This one, you come down, you go around. You should be able to get it right in there. Well, I may have to cheat. If you can't slide it in, you can just run it right up through. There's a little spring. Spring loaded. Once I get there, don't go blind. That's not a lot of fun either. Yes, dear. Can I help you?
Well,
No. I almost got it right there. And I dropped it. Sometimes they're not easy to get a hold of. And you get a hold of it. Go up through there. And down under there, just like that. Raise that. It's called the hook. All the way up. And go through there. Just like that. And I missed under there. Just like that there. Now you come down these two holes, and actually you can slide in from the side most of the time. No, it's not going to let me do it, is it? No. You're supposed to be able to slide in from the side on those, but it doesn't always work that way. And there's two. You go through that one. Now, your last guide is on this side of the needle. And I think that feels backwards to me, but we'll find out in a minute. I gotta get better lighting. This is a little hard to do when you can only half see. Because there's a little tiny hole down there. And I use these threaders, and they make this part of the job a lot easier. And we are threaded for the most part. And you just turn the wheel in the direction that it sews. Whoops, lift that up. Down, back up. Oops, come on. Sometimes I have to use the scissors and get that to pull it through. And if I've done everything correctly, we're threaded. You see what the tension doesn't. Yeah, you might have to adjust the tension after. I'll take my variable scope and go back down to 1.5 power. There, that's better. Find a little piece of waste material here. Yeah, let's start with a paper towel, because I just oiled this. And fold the paper towel a couple times. Drop the needle down. Just like that. I hold these two threads. Whoops, I don't know why it jams up, but it did. And there it goes. You made a stitch. Sometimes when you lift it up, you need to wiggle a little bit, get it come out of there. There's your bottom stitch, looks good. There's your top stitch. Usually when that needle's up, it comes right up out of there. I must be doing something wrong. There it goes. So you have both threads up top, but sometimes you have to just rock these a little bit. These, I imagine all machines, I don't know, I never ran new machines, so I don't know. Scissors again. Clip it off. And that's all there is to it right there. Nice little stitch, top, bottom. If you go to stitch, and you get a messy looking bunch of thread on the bottom, your top tension is too loose. If your material all bunches right up like this, you're too tight. You know, so that's just. If you have a big thread jam on the top, well, you better go back to the cleaning and look at things over. These machines have a pretty good amount of power. This is some ugly looking canvas material that I got in a box of stuff. We'll cut a piece out of it. And double it in half. I mean, I know it'll go through several layers. And that has more to do with your needle than with your power of your machine, what you're using for a needle. You know, I mean, that's 2 layers. It'll definitely sew cloth. That's light leather. I'm not going to sew a whole lot of that up, just enough to show you that it will do it. I just broke the thread. I figured it snap. I don't know which one I broke. Come on, let's go. Whoops, I broke the thread. You can see though that if I hadn't broke the thread, that it will sew that, but I broke the thread. Actually, it started to stitch with what it had, but I broke the thread. That it'll sew that light leather. You're not going to sew saddle leather or shoe leather with this machine. It just wouldn't make sense. I mean, it'll sew wool, it'll sew cloth, and that's basically how you run it. When it comes to lubrication, once again, it's an all steel machine. Where it moves, oil it. What you use for oil is totally your preference. I start on a stiff machine with this right here. WD-40. I'm going to get comments. Oh, you don't know what you're doing, this and that. Please tell me how I'm going to hurt an all-steel machine. The thing you want to remember with WD-40 is WD-40 stops squeaks, removes and protects, loosens. It's a very thin lubricant. Does it gum them up? Well, I suppose if you used it all the time it would, but to get started with these old machines that haven't been run, doesn't hurt a thing. When you lubricate them, that works good right there. I use Tri-Flow, I use it on my guns, I use it on my sewing machine, Tri-Flow, 3-in-1. Any light grade oil works good. Like I said, there's some holes up top. You want to remove this face plate right here, take that right off out of your way. There's things that move in there. The biggest thing, put a paper towel underneath it or something because you're going to lose some oil. There's a hole there you lubricate. And you tip it right up. And you get underneath. You can see it's just dripping off me because I really went at it, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me a bit. I'll just throw a paper towel down in there. This isn't that fancy of a box. Everything that moves. And on these 66 style machines, there's these little holes. I'm going to try and move you around. Do I have a flashlight or anything? Yeah, I do right there. There's these little holes. Those are oil holes. 1, 2, and that one is very important. If your machine is froze, you want to keep working oil in there. Spray it up in there or get it in there. And you want to oil that well, the shuttle is what it's called. You might have to take it apart if it's froze right solid. There's a screw in here you take out and one down here, and just take a soft mallet and tap it up out of there and clean it good. But if you keep fiddling with it, they'll usually start. That's not the correct tensioner on there, the one that was with this machine. No, maybe it is. I don't remember. That's all there is. This here adjusts your foot pressure down here on the thickness of the fabric you have. I think you're going to be happy with it, Chris. I hope this helps. Needles are just a standard Singer. These right here, you can get them at Joann's. They fit them just fine. I'm not really going to get into different needles for different applications because I'm not good explaining that sort of thing, and I might mess you up. You're better off just look online and get what you want. But you can see they have a nice little stitch. I don't use this particular machine that much. They're a great machine. There's nothing wrong with them. I like the older black machines myself better. And like I said, it's nothing but a little newer model. It's called the 185J, but it duplicated the Singer 99. Well, I hope that helps, Chris, and thanks to everybody else that watched.